How would women's lives be different if John Edwards is elected president?
I think that I've said this for some time. John is the best advocate on women's issues, and he just simply is. And the issues that women have cared about, one person has really been in the forefront on these issues. Women are more affected by minimum wage. John has been, out there fighting for minimum raises in minimum wage in state by state, since we don't seem to be able to get the attention of Congress. And when Congress finally did do something about minimum wage, it was inadequate. They went to $7.50, I think, an hour. Is that what, $7.50 an hour? By 2012 or whenever it is. And but it's already inadequate, and as a living wage. And if we want to move women out of poverty, and women are disproportionately the people in poverty in this country, particularly single women with children, but all women are disproportionately represented. We're going to have to do something about the minimum wage. We're also going to have to do something about equal pay and actually mean it. I'm tired of saying it. I've been saying it for how many years? Women earn 78 cents or something, 77, 78 cents on a dollar for doing the same work that men do. And if you happen to be a woman of color, it could be as low as 53 cents on a dollar. You're being paid half as much as a man for doing exactly the same work. And unless you have somebody who deeply cares about this and is willing to speak up and fight the fight, fight the people who stand between us and these changes, you're not going to get it done. Universal health care is one of the top issues that women address, and John came out with his plan in February. He didn't wait to see how somebody else was tested. He was out there first with it, with a really comprehensive plan. It has gotten universal kudos from health economists and other people like that, who evaluate whether it makes sense and whether it'll actually work and whether it has the specificity. I was disappointed in Senator Obama's plan, which wasn't as comprehensive, and disappointed that Senator Clinton, when she adopted basically his same plan, did not give him any credit for it. I think a good woman gives even a man credit when he deserves it. On issues with respect to choice and inclusion of women, I mean, in his campaign and things like that, John has a terrific record. Probably the two most important people in your presidential campaign are your state directors in Iowa and New Hampshire. Both of these state directors are women. We're sitting here with this research director, also a woman. Chief of staff in the campaign, also a woman, and women at the table when decisions are being made. But honestly, he doesn't need it, because his heart's in the right place on these issues. He saw his mother work as hard, sometimes harder than his dad did, and she never got on the path to being a supervisor, because she wasn't seen that way. And we need to change that mindset, is by giving people role models, examples of people. I think that we've already broken the glass ceiling, broke it with Nancy Pelosi. We don't, right now we need somebody who's going to fight for us, and not just give us the words, not just give us the rhetoric, but really be willing to say, I'm going to fight for women's rights and women's issues. Education is another example. John earliest plans and incredibly comprehensive on all issues that are important to women.
Okay. And for undecided voters, what is the one thing you want them to know about John Edwards that is maybe not coming out in the press coverage right now?
Yeah, well, of course, the press coverage is so disproportionately to candidates that sometimes I don't think there's some people who don't even realize there are other candidates running. I think John is one of a number, maybe three, in the Democratic Party. Probably Dennis Kucinich and Senator Obama and John would probably describe them as change candidates. So if you want change, the number of people you're looking at is actually a fairly smaller group. You can't just use the word change. You actually have to have policies that represent those changes. So who's going to actually make them happen? Because it's great to talk about them. We all like to talk about them, but who's going to actually make them happen? And what we saw just recently with the assassination of Bhutto was pretty instructive. A lot of people talked about it. John got on the phone and called Musharraf. Actually called the ambassador and told him he wanted to speak to Musharraf. Musharraf called him back. But what that shows you is that the people who talk about it and there are people who don't want to talk about it. They want to act and get it done. And so John went straight to express his opinion. Instead of expressing it, to a bunch of reporters, he expressed it to the man who actually could make a difference in what happens. I suspect that Musharraf doesn't read the New York Times. So we need to make certain that we have a doer and a fighter for the kinds of changes we want. We're not going to get these changes without fighting for them. We're going to have to fight insurance companies to get the kind of health care we need. We're going to have to fight business community to get increases in minimum wage. These are fights John's undertaken his whole life, and you can pick a proven fighter, or you can take a chance. I don't think we can afford to take any more chances. We've had too many steps down a very bad road. We need a sure champion, and that would be John.